In the dark recesses of the internet, there are those who tread a dangerous path, caught between the allure of forbidden knowledge and the consequences of defying national security. Gary McKinnon, a name that sends shivers down the spines of cybersecurity experts and government officials alike. It all started back in the early 2000s, when a man armed with nothing but a computer, a dial-up internet connection, and sheer determination managed to infiltrate some of the most secure networks in the world. His targets? None other than NASA and the US military. So how did he pull off such audacious attacks, and what was the US government so afraid he might find out? Born in Glasgow, Scotland in 1966, Gary McKinnon's fascination with computers began at an early age. His journey into the world of hacking wasn't driven by typical motives like financial gain or notoriety. Instead, McKinnon was on a mission to uncover hidden truths. Convinced that the government was suppressing evidence of extraterrestrial life and advanced technologies, he embarked on a crusade to expose them. His interest in UFOs and conspiracy theories led him to believe that somewhere within classified government networks lay proof of these extraordinary claims. McKinnon's quest took him to the doorstep of NASA and the US military, organizations that held vast amounts of sensitive data and were notoriously tight-lipped about their findings. He wasn't deterred by the high-tech security measures in place. In fact, he saw them as a challenge to his skills and determination. Armed with just his personal computer and a dial-up internet connection, McKinnon prepared for his digital crusade. He knew that breaking into such heavily guarded networks wouldn't be easy, but he was determined to succeed. His chosen weapon of choice? A program called Terminal Services, which allowed him to remotely access and control computers. However, to use this program effectively, he needed to get past the firewalls and security protocols that protected these government systems. McKinnon had only one way to achieve this: by exploiting weaknesses in network security and guessing passwords. While it may sound rudimentary today, back in the early 2000s, many organizations, including government agencies, fell short in implementing robust security measures. Weak passwords were commonplace, and firewalls were either insufficient or poorly configured. These oversights provided McKinnon with the entry points he needed to launch his cyber attacks. One by one, he targeted various US government computers, including those belonging to NASA, the Pentagon, and several military bases. Each successful intrusion brought him closer to his goal of uncovering evidence of extraterrestrial activity and hidden technologies. But with each step he took, the level of security he encountered increased. McKinnon found himself navigating through labyrinthine networks, bypassing sophisticated firewalls and evading detection by cybersecurity experts. As he delved deeper, the stakes rose and the potential consequences of being caught became more severe. Finally, after months of relentless effort, McKinnon breached the outer defenses and gained access to the highly classified systems he sought. What he found inside would change everything. According to McKinnon, he stumbled upon documents and images that provided irrefutable proof of extraterrestrial activity and advanced technologies. He claimed to have seen evidence that the government was actively hiding from the public. Shocked and exhilarated, he knew he had uncovered secrets that could shake the world. But with his identity still unknown, McKinnon decided to leave behind a calling card. He wrote messages on the computers he had accessed, taunting the government to find him if they could. As the scope of his intrusion became clear, the US government went into overdrive. They realized they were dealing with a hacker unlike any they had encountered before. His technical prowess and audacity sent shockwaves through the cybersecurity community. Authorities scrambled to contain the damage and hunt down the man responsible. When the news broke that NASA and the US military had been compromised, the public was stunned. The very institutions that were supposed to protect and guide us had been infiltrated by a lone hacker. The breach of sensitive government data raised concerns about national security and the vulnerability of critical infrastructure. People began to question the measures in place to safeguard our information and the extent of the damage done by this rogue hacker. As the investigation deepened, the FBI and other government agencies focused on tracking down the source of the attacks. The trail led them to Gary McKinnon, a seemingly ordinary man living in London. When the authorities arrived at his doorstep, they found themselves facing a determined and defiant individual. McKinnon knew he had committed a serious offense, but he was ready to face the consequences. In December 2002, McKinnon was arrested by the London police and charged with offenses under the U.S. Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. The U.S. government wasted no time in seeking his extradition. They viewed McKinnon as a dangerous cybercriminal who had threatened national security and sought to bring him to justice in America, where he could potentially face up to 70 years in prison. News of McKinnon's arrest sent ripples of excitement through the hacking community. For many, he had become a modern-day Robin Hood, stealing secrets from the powerful and corrupt. However, the general public remained divided. Some saw him as a hero, exposing government wrongdoing, while others labeled him a dangerous criminal who had endangered national security. The debate raged on, blurring the lines between right and wrong, justice and oppression. Over the next few years, the extradition process became a legal battleground. McKinnon's lawyers argued that he should not be extradited as it would violate his human rights. They pointed to his deteriorating mental state and the lack of adequate mental health facilities in U.S. prisons. The case garnered significant media attention, turning McKinnon into a household name. Legal experts closely scrutinized every aspect of the case, trying to predict its outcome. As the years passed, the pressure mounted on the British government to make a decision. The U.S. was eager to secure the extradition of McKinnon, seeing it as a test of its commitment to fighting cybercrime. Meanwhile, McKinnon's supporters grew increasingly vocal, demanding that the British government stand up for his rights and reject the extradition request. The world waited with bated breath, unsure of what the ultimate outcome would be. In October 2012, after a decade of legal battles and political lobbying, the British government made its decision. Home Secretary Theresa May announced that she had certified that McKinnon should not be extradited to the United States. The news sent shockwaves around the world. Supporters of McKinnon erupted in celebrations, hailing it as a victory for human rights and individual liberty against government oppression. However, the U.S. government was far from pleased. They saw the decision as a setback in the fight against cybercrime and vowed to continue pursuing the case. Despite the setback, the U.S. government refused to give up. They continued to push for McKinnon's extradition, determined to hold him accountable for his actions. However, the British government stood firm, citing McKinnon's deteriorating mental state and the potential impact on his health if extradited. The diplomatic dispute escalated, straining the relationship between the two countries and raising questions about the future of international cooperation in the field of cybersecurity. Ultimately, the British government's decision to block McKinnon's extradition sent a clear message. Governments worldwide recognized the need to address the growing issue of cybercrime, but they also had to respect the rights and freedoms of their citizens. A balance had to be struck between security and liberty, and the McKinnon case became a pivotal moment in that struggle. Today, Gary McKinnon lives a relatively quiet life in London. After a decade of legal battles and media scrutiny, he has largely retreated from the public eye. However, his legacy continues to live on. The details of his case remain classified, leaving many questions unanswered and fueling speculation about what he truly uncovered during his hacking spree. The debate surrounding McKinnon's actions continues to this day. Some argue that he was a hero who exposed government secrets that the public had a right to know, while others maintain that he was a criminal who jeopardized national security. Ultimately, it is up to each individual to decide where they stand on this controversial issue. Gary McKinnon's story serves as a reminder of the power of curiosity and the importance of standing up for what you believe in, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Whether you view him as a hero, a villain, or something in between, there is no denying that he left an indelible mark on the world of hacking and cybersecurity. In an era where information is power, it is crucial that we understand the risks and responsibilities that come with wielding that power. McKinnon's case raises important questions about the ethics of hacking, the balance between security and privacy, and the lengths to which individuals will go to expose the truth. As we navigate the complexities of the digital age, let us remember the lessons from the past and strive to create a better future where innovation and integrity go hand in hand.